So the part that we're kind of not talking about is you have Sanji, who is being forced to marry Pudding.
Yes.
Of course, typical Sanji, when he meets her, Pudding's hot.
Yep.
And he's like tickled beyond. He's so happy.
Because at least if he's got to do this, at least he's got a hot wife.
Right. But it turns out that she's actually part of a three-eyed tribe.
Yeah,
and they have like this third eye that's in the middle of their head, and it gives them some kind of like, I don't know, does she get some sort of like cognitive ability or sight or thing from it?
She never seems to use that. It's
like a witch tribe of people that have three eyes. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah.
But her devil fruit is she can actually, it's another weird devil fruit power.
Yeah.
Go into your head, pull out of your head this thing that looks like film, like from a movie.
An old film reel, yeah.
Cut it, take out a part, and she can either edit it with something else or just leave it out so you have total memory loss.
Yeah, she can mess around with your memories.
And she's batshit crazy and evil.
I think she's like schizophrenic.
And she wants to kill Sanji. And as soon as he says, like, I do, and goes to kiss the bride, she's going to shoot him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And he finds this out.
Yeah.
One night he created a like a picnic basket of
all her favorites.
Well, not all her favorites.
Of all Luffy's favorites.
Of all the crew's favorite foods.
Yeah, and she was gonna
bring he doesn't even do it like he wasn't trying to do that. He was like just trying to cook things that he thought she was gonna like, and he ended up making all of his crew's favorite foods.
Right.
And so he takes it to her, and they won't the guards outside her door won't let him in to see her. So he kind of finds his way out onto her balcony and realizes that she has his sister captured and is like evil plan monologuing her whole plan to her. And so Sanji figures out, oh crap, she isn't a nice person. She's going to try and kill me.
Yeah.
And so that's when he decides he takes the picnic basket and he goes to try and find Luffy.
Right. And it's a great scene.
It is. Their reunion is a great scene. It's another one. It's almost, it wasn't quite as good as Innie's Lobby with Robin and the whole I want to live.
But it's good.
But it was damn close because he broke down and he was like, fine. Luffy, he and Luffy are talking and he's basically trying to tell Luffy it's hopeless. We can't get out of this. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill my family.
Mm-hmm.
Like all this, it's just, I can't do anything. And Luffy's just Luffy. And he's like, screw you. He's like, we'll figure this out. He's like, what the hell? Just tell me what you want. And finally, Sanji's like, all right, fine. You want to know what I want? More than anything in the world, I want to go home to the sunny forever.
Yeah. I want to be your cook and I want to be there with everybody else. That's where I want to be. And he's breaking down crying about it. It's a great scene.
It is.
Luffy is so annoying and persistent. He'll get you eventually. He should be like a lawyer or an interrogator because he'll eventually get you to crack, you know?
Yep.
I mean, if you think you go all the way back, he did it with Nami, where Nami was like, leave me alone. I want you to leave me alone. I hate you and all that. And he stayed. And then she finally broke down and said, I want you to help me. And he helped her.
He did it with Zoro, too, when Zoro was tied to the post in the middle of that.
A little bit there. Yeah. But he did it with him. He had moments with Usopp and Water 7.
Yeah.
You know, when he had all that stuff. So it was a good scene. So they're kind of like reunited. He's going to help them. They all get on the same page. They kind of do an alliance with Capone Beji, who wants to.
Because they find out that he was planning an assassination attempt of Big Mom. Because that's his like style. He gets in good with the big guns and works for them. Completely loyalty, like 100% loyalty for like a year, and then he just kills them and takes all their shit.
Yeah. And he's worst generation lineup too.
Yeah.
But I like him. He's good. The day of the wedding, so when they go to get married, typical Sanji. As soon as she removes her veil, shows the third eye, he tells her how beautiful the eye is.
Yep.
And she just falls head over heels in love with him in that moment.
Yep.
Because then you see her sad history that
Yeah.
Big Mom would yell at her, cover that eye up. It's disgusting. You gross me out.
I know you're my daughter, but you creep me out. Yeah.
And she was just another abused kid that's a part of the Charlotte family.
Well,
I mean,
all the children in the town that she grew up in thought she was a freak and treated her bad.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Everyone did. So it was really sad for her, like what happened. So then the big fight starts. They break up the wedding. They destroy the picture of Mama, of the lady she got the power from. And then from this point on, Big Mom is so annoying.
Yeah.
She slips into a hunger pang, which they wanted her to slip into a trance because they thought it would be easy to kill her, but it didn't work out.
Because they found out that when she's basically invulnerable unless she like drops her guard. And the only time they've ever seen that happen was
when that picture was almost damaged. Yeah.
The picture was almost damaged.
Yeah.
So that's Beggie's idea is let's break the picture, get her into this weird state, and we'll shoot her with these things that Caesar developed.
Yeah. Doesn't go well.
No, of course not.
She eventually goes nuts because they destroyed the cake.
Yeah, well, that was Luffy's idea. He uses Brulee's power again to make a bunch of monkeys and animals from the forest look like him.
Yeah, and they destroy the cake. All this leads up to like a big chase scene. This goes on for a long time where Big Mom's chasing them. All this stuff's happening, and it leads to a big battle. One thing I thought was really cool in this is when the Straw Hats are all fighting, doing their thing, Sanji decides to save his family.
Yeah.
Because he loves his sister.
Yep.
She's one of the good ones. She's always looked out for him.
And she's always just a kind-hearted person.
Right. He's not going to let them die. And he saves them. He gives them their weapons back. And I like when Jeremy 66 goes into gear then. When they all get to...
So it's so silly. It's cool, but it's so silly because they're in the middle of this big battle, and then all of a sudden you get this intro from an 80s cartoon.
Yeah, because that's who they are. In the north, where are they from? The North Blue.
North Blue.
They are like a TV show up there. They're like the Power Rangers up there.
Yes.
That people watch them and think that they're like these people. Really, they're like they're like a cartoon characters up there. It's hilarious. So they go into action, and they're pretty badass. I mean, they are whooping ass on them. They, even Judge gets involved. It's a great battle. It's a great scene. He's still a dick towards his son, but
Oh yeah, even to the bitter end.
Yeah. So this all leads up then to the leader of the Big Mom Pirates, the captain, the head general, Charlotte Katakuri, who him and Luffy square up. And Katakuri's power, which a lot of people say this was one of Luffy's toughest battles because he has the mochi fruit. Now, I had no fucking idea what mochi is.
I had to go and look it up too.
But the day we were watching this, me and Alex were at Target, and he found mochi that they sold, and it was like frozen mochi with like chocolate in it or whatever. It's disgusting, I think. Like,
well, it's sweet rice. It's like a dough made of sweet rice,
and it's so like gooey. Like you put it in your mouth, it's just like feels like it's uncooked dough. Like it's really, I didn't like it at all. It's really weird.
I may have to. If you said you got it at Walmart, I might have to try it.
So we tried the mochi. So his mochi, they say, is the same thing of like rubber. So he does basically the same shit as like the Luffy can do with stretching and size manipulation and all that. But the only difference is he can produce mochi where Luffy can't produce rubber.
Yeah.
So
the other thing that he does is he takes ideas from Luffy. Like Luffy does a move to him and he's like, that's not a bad idea.
Like Gatling, but not only is because he doesn't have Luffy's speed, he just makes a whole bunch of arms.
Yeah.
And not only is it mochi, but he covers it in hockey.
Yes.
So it's like solid, unbreakable black skin that stretches, and it's an insane power. And they basically make it like he can do anything with it. I'm like, it's just food. Like, why didn't Luffy eat this mochi? He was eating the crackers. Why didn't he eat the mochi?
That's true. The difference between him and Luffy, though, is Katakuri's his biggest power is his observation hockey.
Yes.
His observation hockey is so developed that he can literally see, like, I don't think they ever give it an official time frame, but it's like probably close to a minute into the future.
Yeah, he sees I don't know if it's a full minute. It might be like 30 seconds, 20 seconds.
It's a long time.
It's enough where he sees stuff and he's like, oh, okay. They're about to attack, Some stuff he was a little confused with, but like Katakuri's main thing, the reason they even have this fight, is Luffy needs to learn this observation hockey. Yeah. He's going to need it for Kaido and Big Mom and other people like that. So it's all him losing constantly and figuring out, like, okay, I got to do it this way. I got to do it that way. He already saw that. Remember, he went fourth gear against Big Mom. She fucking destroyed him.
Yeah, it did like nothing.
So, it's a good fight because he's learning during the fight.
The other cool thing is they do flashbacks to him and Rayleigh, which I've always wanted to see more of the training that he did with Rayleigh. Yeah.
Talking about fourth gear, talking about observation hockey, and how you have to let it go and all this other stuff, to the point where finally he figures it out.
Yeah.
And which I think one of the cooler moments is that he figures out fourth gear Snake Man.
Yes.
Which is like Bounce Man, but he doesn't get big. He gets thinner and he gets really fast.
It's made for speed and offense.
Yes, and those stretchy arm punches that he does, it's almost like Darkseid's Omega Beams.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Every time they change direction, they get faster.
Yeah. So like Darkseid's beams that find you out, his arms are going crazy and they're like ding 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 till like you're like, I don't know which direction they're coming, and all of a sudden you get hit from the side.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. It's a wild power. I really like it, and he finally beats Katakuri with it, which Katakuri even stood up to Snake Man for a while, which shows you how powerful he was.
I was like, I know he wins this fight, but holy crap.
The cool thing with Katakuri is you also, why I loved him a lot, is that he's also a really good brother.
Yes.
Like, here's this guy that's like, does whatever Big Mom tells him. He's like the fourth or fifth child ever born from Big Mom.
He's number 2.
Oh, he's 2. Yeah, because Peros is 1.
Yeah,
stupid.
Lickety.
Fucking hate that candy asshole. I don't lickety like him over and over. Put your tongue in your goddamn mouth. Like, why's your tongue hanging out of your mouth the entire time?
Beji has a guy like that too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that Lelo guy. That
Lelo.
Guy. Yeah. Yes, Lelo. Oh, Lelo. That guy is so annoying. His tongue's just hanging out of his mouth. Dogstorm's tongue hangs out of his mouth a lot too.
You know who? Dofi did that a lot too.
Yes, the tongue. So, you get a nice flashback of Katakuri as a kid where he's just sticking up for his brothers and sticking up for his sister.
Mostly Brûlée.
And you learn his secret that he has that weird mouth like an eel.
It's a pellet. He is half fish man, half pelican eel fish man.
Yeah, so I forgot that his dad was a fishman. So
yeah.
His face is a pelican eel and has that smile, and it's real weird. So he covers it because some kids made fun of his face. Brûlée stuck up for him. Then they beat the shit out of Brûlée. And then he fucked him up. So he's a good brother. He really worried about Peros, that he was almost dead. He's like, glad you're alive, brother. He's a good guy. He should be the leader of the Charlotte Pirates because his mom's a nutbag.
Yeah.
So his whole thing is he's never been knocked down and he's never been on his back.
Yep. Even in this fight with Luffy, when he finally beats him, he falls flat on his face. He doesn't fall on his back.
But he does get back up, and then he eventually does. Yeah. But you saw that he likes to take breaks and eat donuts and lay on his back and relax. Like he has this relaxing time where he has his little lunch breaks and he eats his. I forget what he calls his donuts and all that. And like, you know, so they find him there, and like he finally falls. Luffy wins. And a great Luffy moment that shows the respect as he goes over and he takes his secondary hat that he had on and he covers Katakuri's mouth.
Yes.
That way when anyone finds him, they don't see his secret.
It's the same thing he did with Boa's sisters and Boa's sister and covered her tattoo.
It's respect.
Yes, it's absolutely respect.
You also see the respect earned after is when Brulee's taking care of Katakuri. And he's like, did Straw Hat make it? And he's like, yeah, he escaped. He got away from Big Mom. And Katakuri smiles.
Yep.
Like, I think there's a level of respect there. Like, this guy actually beat me. Like, I've never lost.
Yeah.
And, like, this guy's good. Like, I hope that you don't see the last of Katakuri. I don't want him to be an ally, but I wouldn't mind being someone that, like, maybe would ally with him later on and respect him, you know, when he's king. Like, it's a good relationship.
Luffy, I think the only villain that still doesn't have any respect for him is probably Doflamingo.
Yeah, Doflamingo doesn't like him.
He doesn't like anybody though.
I mean, Horty wouldn't like him, but he's in jail.
No, probably not. Yeah. But I mean, you wouldn't have thought Crocodile or a lot of the guys that they broke out of Impel Down would have ever allied with him, and they did. So
yeah, true. So I know this one's kind of long, but it goes on and on. So on their escape, another great moment is Sanji rescues Luffy after Peckham sacrifices himself.
Yes,
because we find out that minks in a full moon can get very powerful.
Oh, what's that form called again?
Oolong or Oolong or something like weird.
Sulong.
Sulong, yeah. And they get all this energy and they get fucking crazy big. It's nuts.
Yeah, Sulong. Yeah. And Carrot basically, she takes out like a third of Big Mom's fleet by herself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she's just going around beating the crap out of the crew, but then she just rips the steering wheels off of all the ships.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good moment for her. I do like when Sanji then grabs Luffy and he's like carrying him back and he's like, did you win? And he's like, yep. And he's like, oh, that's my captain. Like, he knew he was gonna win.
But there wasn't like that escape wasn't even easy. Like
it's crazy. The Big Mom pirates are attacking. Beji makes his escape. He leaves. A cool moment. Germa shows up to help them.
Yep.
Not because of Sanji, according to.
Of course.
Yeah, but like they owe them. They owe them. Then they
owe the Big Mom pirates some revenge. And
yeah, but cool moment that like his brothers kind of are like, yeah, Sanji's all right. You know. Like,
yeah. They won't admit it to his face because every one of them that helps him is like either tells him, "I'm not doing this for you," or
there's respect there, and the sister loves him, you know.
Well, and what you find out is the sister slipped Sanji a little helper prize for down the road.
Yes, she slips him
one of their transformation things because he
was a raid suit.
Raid suit because he
with
was
the number 3 on it.
He was the third son, so he would have been number 3.
Yeah, just wait for that. You'll love that.
They do use it?
Maybe. You'll see. Because he doesn't want it.
I know he doesn't. He almost throws it overboard, and Luffy won't let him.
The rest of the Straw Hats want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great moment in here is Jinbei sacrificing himself.
Yes.
Staying behind, he tells Luffy, I'll reunite with you, but I'm going to stay behind and help my fisherman pirates. Because, again, Jinbei's a great fucking guy. Like,
yeah,
he got moved on. He could have easily escaped.
Well, they told him to leave. The Sun Pirates told him to leave. Yeah. And he came and he went back. He told Luffy, he said, I feel compelled. I cannot leave them in this state. And Jinbei's really kind of the reason they were able to get away.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because Jinbei, what's he really good at on the Straw Hats crew?
He's a helmsman.
He's a helmsman. How did we know that we don't need a fucking helmsman?
Seriously.
We need a guy, and he was born to pilot the Sunny.
Yeah.
Like it's his. He's great with it. Like
The one thing I can't wait for, although right now the Sunny is beat to shit, but
it is beat to shit. Yeah, because Big Mom wrecked it.
I want to see Jinbei helming the Sunny with Frankie on board.
Let me just tell you, it's so fucking great. It's so great. Like those two get along so great, just for the love of each other. Of like, this is a fucking great boat. You got that right. They just like there's not a single person on that crew that's like, oh, I'm not sure I like Jinbei. Like he's the guy that everyone likes. You know. Wait do you see that fucking entrance in Wano?
Oh no!
Me and Alex almost shit and jumped out of our thing. We were so excited over Jinbei getting. We're like, yes!
Oh, I can't wait.
I think my phrase that came out of my mouth was like, wait a minute, and I was like, it's fucking Jinbei. That's how exciting.
Oh, I can't wait.
So yeah, it's good time.
Right. So they get away. And then we go into after Whole Cake.
Well, before that, real quick, when you see them reunite, new wanted posters come down.
Oh yeah.
Luffy looks at his poster. Sanji's making everybody a snack. They're all reunited. Nami's being a little bitch to Sanji for a while and acting like she's not going to forgive him.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's like, as we're going to be together, I'm never going to talk to you ever again. He's like, that means we're going to be together forever. Like, he's such an ass. But anyway, Luffy looks down at his sign and thinks, well, mine dropped down to 150 million.
Because, he was at 500. And well, no, he's just sitting there. Sanji was freaking out because his poster went back to dead or alive. And his bounty went up to 330, which is 10 million more than Zoro. So he was excited. I think his exact words were, what's Mosshead's bounty up to now?
Yeah. But Luffy thought his dropped all the way down to 150 million.
150 million, yeah.
And he thought, like, he was depressed from it.
He was so sad.
And then Brook looks at it, and after he's like,
Luffy, I think you forgot a couple zeros here, yo.
He's 1.5 billion.
Yes.
And they actually declare him the fifth emperor.
Yeah, the press, the media declares him the fifth emperor.
He's not technically that yet, but the press is calling him that.
Yep.
Which leads us into the last part of this, which is the Levelly arc.
I don't know why it's called Levelly, because they're at a reverie.
Yeah,
which is actually a thing.
So this is just a lot of this was filler.
Yes, I agree.
There was a lot of filler in this. It was just to reintroduce you to everybody from every other kingdom that they ever came across. Rebecca and her dad and Vivi and the mermaid princess and all that stuff. You also get the Revolutionary Army is about to like make their move there. They're sneaking in. Sabo's there. It's cool to see people, but a lot of it was filler.
Well, this whole thing, like what I kind of discovered watching through it is, if somebody doesn't want to sit through, because at this point I think you're at 880 episodes.
Yes.
And if you don't want to sit through 880 episodes of this show and you just want to dive into the brand new stuff, you can watch this 10 episode Reverie arc and see just about everything that happened to them from the East Blue forward.
Yes.
The only thing you'd miss a little bit, you'd miss the exciting battle, like the big fight with all the big bosses. You get little snippets of each fight, but
you do. But most of it, I think this is like, they were about to announce that Wano's a big deal. Wano gets its own like logos and like everything changes. Everything's Wano related. Like it's a big deal. So I think they were about to enter into this. They knew there's things like going to be big moments like their 1000th episode and 5th year and all these things. So they were basically like telling you like, you can jump on here.
Yeah.
You can watch all this stuff here. You know every key player. You know everything that's going to happen. and then okay, now you can like watch Wano after this.
Yeah. It was a good refresher even for me. I mean, and I've like speed run this show.
Yeah, it
But I
was a
mean
good refresher. Yeah.
it was still a good refresher.
One of the key elements that sticks out in here is the racism towards fishmen kind of happens, and one of the celestial dragons makes a move for
Shirahoshi.
Shirahoshi from Fishman Island, and he's just going to take her and like kidnap her, and no one will step in and do anything. And there's a lot of the Straw Hat allies there, like some of the Straw Hat
Fleet
alliances are there, and they're like, we can't make a move, we can't expose ourselves. They're all really annoyed that they have to kind of like hold back. Vivi wants to fight.
Sai doesn't want to. Rebecca does. Leo, the little Takata tribe guy, wants to fight. King Neptune is about ready to blow a gasket.
Yeah, and then she's saved by the celestial dragon that landed in Fishman Island, was mean to Neptune's wife, ended up getting her shot.
Yeah.
And like flipped out and yelled at them and tried to kill them. He kind of had a change of heart and figured out like the way they are is wrong, and he beats the fuck out of this guy.
He just hits him with that giant club.
Yeah, and like sets him straight, and then apologizes to Neptune and to Shirahoshi and everything.
And basically says, from now until the end of the reverie, you can protect yourself. I will take the blame for it. You will not be harmed while I am around.
Yeah, it's a cool moment. It's definitely a cool moment to show you some growth in the world and people changing.
Yeah, and the guy that he beats up, the guy that was trying to take her, was the same dude from Sabaody that Luffy punched out.
Yeah,
so this guy's had his face bashed in twice.
Snot hanging out of his nose and everything.
But then the other thing you see is that dude's father, his slave, is fucking Kuma.
It's Kuma. He's riding Kuma around, yeah. And that really pisses off the Revolutionary Army, and they want to save Kuma.
Yeah.
And you don't really see what they do.
No.
You see that, you hear about it later, but you see they're about to like attack and do stuff. But the other revealing here is you meet the 5 elders.
Yes.
They talk to Akihino, who now goes by
Sakazuki.
He's the
fleet commander.
Fleet admiral, the fleet commander. Admiral. Fleet admiral. He just wants to kill everybody. I mean,
he just wants to kill all the pirates. Yeah, he doesn't.
He's a lunatic. Yeah, he's just like we were talking before the show. He's just kind of like not necessarily evil. He's just kind of like extreme justice. You don't do what you do, you get killed. Like, he's not the kind of guy that's going to go to an island of innocent people and just start killing everybody for no reason.
No, like, but he does kill his own men if they don't follow their orders.
Because he's strong, like military tyrant. You have to follow his orders. Like you do what you say, or like I don't want to be around you. He's a complete dick.
Yeah,
power hungry. The 5 elders kind of run things. They know everything. You don't know who these people are. Anything about them, and they report to M, who's like the king of Marie's Law.
But it's a secret. Like, nobody else knows, because the throne, they make a big deal
that the throne's empty.
It's the empty throne, and that no one sits on there because it's a symbol of the division of power between the world.
Right.
Because the other thing we find out here is the Sabo's adopted brother is now the king of that country. And they take him into that throne room, which is when they like to pay tribute. As a ruler of a country, he's supposed to be paying tribute to the throne. All he wants to do is sit on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when they kind of tell you the story of and explain that the throne is permanently empty because it's supposed to be a symbol of a division of power. And then like an episode or two later, you find out there is someone, this M whatever, that sits on the throne and gives the 5 elders their orders.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the big boss. So you don't, and he has like papers on everybody, wanted posters.
Yeah.
Or like pictures of people. And doesn't he zero in on Princess Vivi?
Princess Vivi is one of the posters.
But he's looking through the papers of like people he's interested in. The last picture you see him hold is Vivi.
Yeah.
And he's just, what that means, I don't know. If like he wants her killed or if he.
Well, yeah, because that's what they're there. That's what the 5 elders are going to him for, is that I don't know if it happens every 4 years, but there's a purge of a group of people. And that's what they're asking him. When the episode ends, they're asking, what people are being purged.
Yeah. And he has like, isn't Luffy in the picture? He has a lot of people in the picture.
Luffy's one of the pictures there.
Vivi, the mermaid princess. There's a couple key people in there.
And right before that, which this is kind of misleading, I think, but Shanks shows up, and the 5 elders agree to meet with him.
Yes.
And from my understanding of the whole like power structure of One Piece, there's the world government, and they have the 7 warlords that work for them to try and keep a balance of power with the 4 emperors, because the 4 emperors are kind of against the world government.
Yeah, the 4 emperors are in the New World and they do their own thing. There's not a strong military presence in the New World. And then they leave Wano completely alone because Wano is off limits to them. They don't fuck with Big Mom. They never messed with Whitebeard. They stayed the hell out of the 4 emperor business altogether.
And Shanks,
they would use the warlord system as like, which gets abolished.
Yeah. Well, I haven't gotten to that yet. I know it's coming, but I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't seen that yet then. But they're very much against like the whole, the warlord system is used to keep other pirates in check.
Yeah.
Get the stronger pirates to hunt down the smaller pirates and take care of them. And then you can look the other way on what the warlords are doing.
Yes, yeah. So
why they let Doflamingo sell drugs and do all the shit that he did because he was a warlord.
Yeah, yeah. So in the end, Shanks shows up to meet with the 5 elders, and his line is, "I want to talk to you about a pirate."
Right.
And then almost the next scene is when they go into the throne room with M, and it's very foreboding.
So you trying to say that maybe Shanks is M?
I don't know. So it's one of those things that, to me, it could go one of 2 ways, because it was very heavy-handed in trying to lead you to that might be Shanks. So it's so heavy-handed that I'm thinking, well, they want you to think that so that they can twist you back later that it's really not him. But Oda is brilliant. And the writing that he does is absolutely brilliant. So I'm wondering if maybe he is going to end up being that dude.
See, I don't. Wait till you watch like the Odin stuff when you see Shanks growing up, Shanks young. Like, it gives you more of Shanks. Like, because like the 5 elders, they were around before. Shanks is a little kid where they're around and all that stuff. Like, I just think that he's. I don't know what it is. It like he is really powerful, but I mean, if you remember, like when Luffy was a little kid, he lived on that island like where Luffy was for years. So he wasn't
But if you remember, when they leave, he's like, "It's been a really good vacation, but we got to go now, Luffy."
Yeah, and then they come back and all that other stuff. Yeah, you also look at Shanks's crew. None of them are devil fruit users.
No, they're all just powerful as shit.
They're all really powerful and really specific, like their roles and everything that they do. They're an odd.
They're all like super hockey masters.
Yeah.
Because the one guy can infuse the bullets in his gun with hockey.
Yeah, because he made Kizaru shit his pants, and Kizaru is a badass.
The guy with the flower swords guy is just he's like a Mihawk level swordsman.
Yeah, they have all these guys like that, and I don't know like where they went to get so powerful. Like, or what Shanks did to get so powerful. So like, there's obviously something there that a piece of his history that's missing, and I think he's going to be tied to this M guy somehow, but not necessarily him.
Okay.
Like, maybe Shanks comes from, maybe this guy is Shanks' dad.
Well, that's what I saw. Like again,
And that's why Shanks is so powerful, because M's the leader of the whole world, and is the most.
Yeah.
So if he's that powerful, like, he would have passed that power down to his son, who kind of like turned against the world government thing when it became a pirate emperor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what has stopped Shanks all this time from saying, okay, like, what, we could talk about this in Wano. We'll have to break Wano into parts, but like,
okay.
You will see how close Shanks gets as a kid to finding the One Piece. In all these years, why has he never tried to find it? He knows exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Well, you find that out on Zoe when they first find the red road poneglyph, that you've got to find all 4 red poneglyphs,
right?
And they have coordinates that create basically an X marks the spot where
and you have to go to that one island, the other island in there first.
Yes.
And then you can find Laughtell's the name of the
Yeah.
hidden island where the One Piece is and all that. That was, you'll get more of that. But like, there had to be a reason why he wasn't telling anybody about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lodestar is the other island. Like, why in all these years when they've been like, all right, I'm gonna go get the One Piece and I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Like, he'll be the next pirate king if he's this powerful and can do all this. He never did it. He never had the desire to do it. Same thing with like Whitebeard never had the desire to do it. Big Mom and Kaido like were kind of happy doing their own thing. You see how you get the understanding and the reason why there, but like guys like Whitebeard and Shanks just were happy being where they were.
Yeah, well, that's Whitebeard's whole thing. Whitebeard just wanted to have a family. That was his whole thing.
But like Shanks, he doesn't have a fleet. He doesn't have allies. It's just the red hair pirates on their own, Something's up with him. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be the big bad evil guy, but like Luffy's going to have to defeat Big Mom and Kaido. After that's over, you got Blackbeard. Blackbeard's another emperor. He'll have to defeat Blackbeard. Blackbeard's the one that got Shanks or got Ace captured. So there's history there. Then it will be him and Shanks. Like, he's gonna have to deal with him eventually, one way or the other.
Unless they just come to an understanding, and Shanks is like, "Dude, do what you want. I don't care. You can be king of the pirates."
But then there's also the world government. There's the Revolutionary Army. I mean,
he's got to
Dragon. There's so much stuff he has to.
He's got to get revenge from Akainu.
They have to have a fight.
They can't leave that open like that.
He fought him when he didn't know anything about hockey. You got to see Snake Man showing up, fucking attacking. Okay, that would be great.
At this point, screw Snake Man. Just go to 5th gear.
Well, it depends how much. I don't know anything about 5th gear yet. How long he can actually hold that?
Well, yeah, that's the thing with 4th gear. He's got a time limit. Who knows?
And I don't know how I feel about 5th gear yet because I'm not there. But something that's called the world's most ridiculous power, I don't want Luffy to have that all the time. Like, I like when he fights because he does a good job with 4th gear and even with Snake Man that, like, he doesn't go to it right away.
Yeah.
He fights you in gear 2 and all these other things and does everything else where he doesn't need it. If you're just walking around in fucking 5th gear, no one will even touch him, like. So it's weird. So we'll see. There's a lot they have to get past.
Yeah.
And Rob Lucci's still around.
Yeah, Lucci shows up. CP0, him and the square nose dude with the fucking giraffe power.
Yeah, they're still there. So, then you also have Law and Kid to deal with. Because Law is an ally, but he's not a big fan of Luffy.
No, and he's said many times, once Kaido's gone, our alliance is done.
Yeah, and then you have Kid. So there's a lot there. This has been a long show.
It has.
But this was a big one to unpack. There was a lot here.
A lot.
So I think once you get to 1,000 episodes of Wano, we should record then.
Do you want to wait till we get to 1,000?
I mean, I'm at 1,000.
I know, but I'm not terribly far
You have
away.
90. You have 88 episodes to get to 1,000. You'll be there next week.
I was gonna say I can do that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, we have plenty of time.
Yeah. I just mean, I guess not what I mean from a time to watch it. It's just that's 100 episodes. That's a lot of One Piece to talk about.
Well, I mean, we just talked about over 167 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, technically, we could do it because there's acts here. So Act 1 is 891 to 917. Then Act 2 is 918 to 958. We could do something like that. What I'd like to do is here's what I'd like to do. We should probably do the beginning of Wano. Okay. And then I think we should do a special when they talk about Kozuki Oden.
Okay.
Because I love that. That's one of my favorite things about One Piece.
I'm super looking forward to that.
Is the flashback with Kozuki Oden and the origin of Wano and the his handlers and all these different people and Kinemon and the whole thing. So we should do a special about that, and then we'll kind of we'll break this one down into smaller groups. Okay. Because that's what we're going to get to by now. They're going to be releasing these things 12 at a time. We'll talk about 12 episodes of Wano,
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. We could have done this breaking these things down, but you watched this shit too fast. So it's like, well, you're already through it. If we didn't have all this other shit going on, we could have did Zoe separately and all that, but
Yeah, life got in the way.
Life gets in the way. All right. Sorry for the long episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're going to get to a point where we're caught up. It's hard to believe this fucker started this in March and we're going to be caught up. But coming soon, once we get caught up, and I'm like halfway through Bleach. So I'm doing all right, but we're going to watch Naruto together.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do something about Bleach too. Who knows?
All right.
But it's getting good. I'm enjoying it now.
Cool. When I get caught up, I'll start Bleach.
You're going to start Bleach?
When I get caught up.
No, you were going to watch Demon Slayer.
Oh, was Demon Slayer the one I was going to go to?
Yeah.
First?
Yeah.
All right.
Because Bleach has a 369
Oh,
episodes.
okay. Yeah. I didn't realize it was that big. All right.
Yeah. We got Naruto to dive into.
So I'll do Bleach after Naruto.
Yeah. Naruto. Don't call him Naruto. I hate when people say Naruto. It's Naruto.
Don't be one of those people, Don.
And then you got Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that one I can be a little bit more casual with.
Yeah, because you pummeled the Mac Daddy of animes. So you should be all right. All right. Well, thanks for listening, watching, whatever you did, and we'll be talking some more anime down the road.
All right. Later.
Later.